Psaki won't say whether Hunter Biden has divested from Chinese private equity firm or not. Did I say page 8? Yeah. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki on Monday refused to say whether President Biden's son Hunter has divested his 10% stake in a Chinese equity from the firm, despite the president's pledge to prohibit family members from engaging in international business dealings. Chinese business records reviewed by Fox News indicate Hunter Biden still holds 10% stake in one Chinese private equity firm. This comes after then candidate Joe Biden said in October 2019 that his family would not engage in business dealings with other countries overseas. Hunter's previously sat on the Chinese firm's board before announcing in October 2019 that he would be stepping down from mounting scrutiny from his father's presidential bid. I actually want to know how Psaki answered this question. Can you pull up exactly what she said in here if you have it? I want to know what that exchange sounded like. Was it like blowing you off, or was it actually an answer that's not saying about Hunter Biden? Let me see how this was.
Can you imagine what China has on Hunter Biden? Can you imagine the blackmail that they have on Joe Biden, Hunter Biden? Like, this dude is like he's Fredo, right? Like, I mean, he's Fredo Corleone.
Isn't that saying the exact same thing that the liberals said about Trump and Russia?
I would say Bush's daughters would be closer to Hunter Biden, but that's really disrespecting Bush's daughters.
This is her answer.
This guy's he's a massive drug addict.
This is her answer. Her answer is, I'd point you to his representative on that. He doesn't work in the administration. And then, again, I convey to you, and then I think I'm going to have to move on, that you should talk to his representatives. Psaki said in February that Hunter was in the process of unloading his shares in February. Mm-hmm. He has been working to unwind his investment, but I would certainly point you, he's a private citizen. I would point you to him or his lawyers on the outside on any update. So she said in February that this was going to happen. Now she's just avoiding it, saying it's not my job. She's not part of the administration. Right. Go look elsewhere. Well, as a voter, do you think that, get somebody that voted for them to say, yeah, I really don't care? Like, does that change your mind about Biden's vote in 2024? Are you kind of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this has happened. It's going to change my way of voting?
I've been pretty clear. I could care less about Hunter Biden. I'm glad that he's not, like, if he was involved in the administration, alarm bells would be going off. But he's a private citizen. He's a drug addict. I'm sure he's done some shady stuff. But thank God he's not in the room with Biden making any decisions.
Well, that's not true though. Did the Bobolinsky stuff back when the election was rounding into form, did that bother you at all?
That turned out not to be true. That story was
Bobolinsky was
the guy who came on the news.
Well, Tucker Carlson. Turned out it was 100% true. It was verified by multiple sources.
Literally does nothing for me.
With the emails, the big guy gets 10%. With
I do say the guy does take 10%. That's something that he jokes about a lot.
All right, you know what?
I don't think that I think
my
Hunter
sisters
Biden
couldn't
thing,
care less either. Yeah. No matter how many times I tried explaining to them like what a national security threat this was, what a liability this was to the national security of the United States, they could not care less.
Advice to the right-wing media pushing the Hunter Biden stuff down the throat, people that they just don't care. Mm-hmm. Like if they just don't. Like you can argue why you should. It's almost like I didn't care when Trump said anything. Does it feel like a low blow?
Does it feel like a low blow?
How so?
Like going after a guy's family, a guy, drug
no,
addict.
I think it's fair game. But if you're doing that with like, why would you vote for this man, Hunter Biden, smoke crack? It's like, okay.
But it's the
it does nothing for me.
It's the blackmail.
But the same thing when they would make fun of Eric Trump all the time. I was like, I don't care. Like, listen, everyone has family. Bill Clinton's brother was a weirdo. Sure. Obama's brother
I tend to agree with you there. I agree with you.
Like people are going to have weird people in their family.
And I didn't like her. What was the woman from Alaska? I didn't like her at all. Oh
Sarah Palin, her daughter. The daughter had a handicapped kid.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Leave the family out.
But this is different. This is different specifically because he was illegally selling access.
And I'm totally cool with the press finding out what the hell's going on. I'm not saying leave him alone, but unless it's actually something shocking and like reveals something that actually compromises Joe Biden, in fact, then all right, I don't think most people care.
Does the Hunter Biden stuff bother you at all or no?
I'm so confused right now. So this guy is doing business with the number one enemy that doesn't do nothing to you, and it's the son of the president? Yeah, I don't know about that, bro. So you forget that a guy is doing business with the #1 enemy.
I'm not cool with the China thing.
That should be enough.
That's
Okay.
that's the issue. So your father is the president of the United States, and your son is doing business with China, and there's dealing there.
Anything with China, I'm not cool with.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
All I'm saying to you is, if you're linked, replace.
They're making him out to be some sort of like global henchman businessman. He's like some crackhead dude that's trying to make money.
Listen,
and I get that he can be compromised.
Let me
but
give
it's not like
a different perspective.
Okay.
How regulated is the securities industry?
Very regulated.
Okay, so let's just say I'm doing a business deal and I funnel the money through a non-licensed securities person who's really bringing the business in, and it's wink, wink, don't worry about it, but you're doing business, that's illegal.
I see that all the time.
So that's what's going on here, except they dictate, China's dictating a lot of the deals, so they can pay this guy
So
money.
he should be held accountable.
Who should be held accountable?
If he's doing something illegal, then bring some charges against him.
But it's linked to his father, and his father's your president.
Forget about. I'm not even concerned about Joe Biden.
Yeah.
If Hunter Biden is doing something illegal, bring some charges against him.
You're not hearing, like, money doesn't funnel like that. Money's funneling through a guy's here. Hey, I need a favor from this guy. Can you do this? And I give you the money, and you make the phone call, and that guy, there's.
So let me throw something your way, because obviously I know you tend to agree with Donald Trump on things. When everything was coming out that Donald Trump Jr. was taking these meetings and made these phone calls, and,
it was fake,
and Russia. And
it was fake. It was verified. Russell Brand, a guy on the far left, who came out and talked about it last week.
I could care less what Russell Brand has to say.
Because it doesn't favor your argument.
What was fake exactly?
The
whole dossier was funded by Hillary Clinton.
I'm not talking about the dossier.
So the what?
But there were meetings with Russia when Trump went out there. Like, you're saying that.
What meetings with Russia?
You're saying that.
But what meetings with Russia?
You're saying that Russia had zero help with anything.
Wait. Are you saying that Trump had Russia help him on the election?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying, but Russia did tamper.
Dude, those are two different things, bro. No. You can't say something like that.
But when stories were out, here's my question. When stories were out in the news,
U.S. is involved in all the elections. They tamper. Every country that's powerful tampers and other. But there's a difference to say, help me out. Versus a person independently does it. That's not the same thing.
My question to you is, when news was, because this is news to me, news, here one day, out the other. When news was out there about Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, or divesting of their companies, they're compromised. At that point, 4 years ago, we were like, well, they should look into it. They should.
Oh, no. Let me tell you what I was thinking about it.
What?
My mind went to this. If this is true, it's game over for his entire family's legacy. If any of that stuff is true, Trump is using America to make money.
Okay.
If any of that is true, you're using America to make money.
And that's where I'm at.
Well, but it is true.
I don't know if it's true. What I'm saying is, bring some charges against him.
Do you remember the New York Post story that was supposed to be posted, that everything was shut down, and then 5 days later they're like, you can put it up, and that one New York Post story that was going viral was blocked all over Twitter? Why? Right before the election. Why? What happened there?
I remember that one.
Of course not.
Seriously?
We talked about it on the podcast. You know what I like about you? Let me tell you what I like about you. You know the movie, what's the goldfish movie? What is that one? The Dory? Dory's the one that's got the memory?
Finding Nemo.
Yeah,
Finding Nemo.
Dude, one of the best qualities of shooters is amnesia. You got it. You're gifted.
The point is
and you got a good memory.
I want to know what's on the laptop.
Let me just say one thing. You know how many times I wake up and even think about Hunter Biden? Zero.
Why not?
And most people don't, because there's so many other things that's going on in life that I got to think about Hunter Biden.
Why not?
If he's doing some illegal shit, bring some charges against him.
Would you have the
But
same...
you want me to run down every rabbit hole because you mentioned Hunter Biden's name? It's annoying.
Okay, what about the laptop? What are your thoughts on that?
Tell me what's on the laptop. I don't know about the laptop. Show me something that's on the laptop. What do you do on the laptop? All I've heard for the last year is Hunter Biden. What did he do?
Well,
bring some charges.
They're trying to get the media to cover the laptop. They're trying to get the media to cover these stories so that you can be aware of it.
I hate this.
And it's being
They're
suppressed.
Trying to get the media, as if the right doesn't have media. Newsmax isn't out there. Fox Business doesn't. We just covered the first story that Fox News gets more viewers than anyone else.
Yeah.
The media. Fox News is the media.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. So it comes
So
out.
tell your friends at Fox News to start covering the stories then.
So 2.5 million people a night know exactly what we're talking about. It's the other 3 million
Okay.
that are living in an opposite reality that we're trying to convince that these things that are facts are facts.
Well,
right? So just
because Hannity says it, it's not a fact.
no,
buddy.
I'm not a Hannity guy.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not a Hannity guy.
I'm going to paint you as one.
Hey, have you ever? Did you ever read Robert Spalding's book Stealth War? Did you ever read that?
No.
There's a few parts in there that I think you would be very interested in, and it's pertaining to the relationship that Hunter Biden actually has.
Okay.
I definitely think.
FYI, it's not just the left; it's both of them. McConnell's also on the right.
McConnell's-
He's got connections to China.
Absolutely.
So
Oh,
this
yeah.
His wife is Chinese.
This is more the
it's
established.
deep, too.
But my point is this.
Yeah.
Even
It's
when we
deep.
talked about, what's her name, Elizabeth Wu?
Yeah.
Is that her name? Did I just make that up? Elizabeth? What's McConnell's wife's name? Even when they've told stories about her, it doesn't nothing for me. And I'm not a McConnell fan, but I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of like, well, yep, McConnell's compromised. There it is.
Yeah, but
the figurehead of the
but
GOP for the last 30 years compromised.
That concerns me.
It should concern you.
Yeah, that
but
concerns
unless
me.
they've proven that he's done something illegal, it's just a story in the news.
Did the General Milley
Yeah.
stuff bother you at all or no?
Let me
Did
ask
it
you a
bother
question.
me?
When's the last time? It's a serious question though. When's the last time you said? Like, remember the scene where the day Giuliani took down like 245, mobsters got arrested, or Joe Pistone, and you saw all of them handcuffed walking out. When's the last time you saw that happening to congressmen and senators? Like, when's the last
man.
time you saw? Has that
would
ever
be
happened?
okay.
I would be okay.
By the way,
with it.
has that
In my
ever
dreams,
happened?
in my
Do you know
dreams.
why it's never happened? Do you think it's because they've never broken the
they
law?
create the laws.
Because they create the damn law. Can you imagine that scene? How come that's never happened? But have you seen pastors or priests going through handcuffs and going to jail?
Yeah,
Have
we
you
should.
seen mobsters? Have you seen athletes? Have you seen business people? Have you seen the only industry that apparently we've never seen that before is politicians?
Well, when
How does that make any
when-
sense?
Some
Yeah, so
some
they're
tend
the
to-
angels. They're the angels. They're
Not
the
at
angels
all.
is what they
Not
are.
at all.
Yeah.
On the left or the right.
Of course.
But Hunter Biden's
This is
not a politician.
Not once did we say left or right. This is politician. Who's not a politician? His
Hunter
father
Biden.
is.
I get it.
He
But
funnels
he's
deals
not.
through his son.
He's the bag
He
man.
funnels deals through his son. Sammy the Bulgarano told me, he says, John's never killed anybody. Like he says, I don't care if John's ever killed anybody.
Mm-hmm.
He said, it's not the person that kills them, it's the person that orders other people to kill them. He says, Sammy says, he says he's got 4 that he took out, or whatever the numbers that he's got out of his 19. He says, the rest, I ordered somebody else to do the hit, right? So it's not him doing it. So it's not necessarily Biden doing the work, but he's got
Who do
somebody
you
else
think
that...
shadier, has done shadier things, more things that are illegal, Trump or Biden?
Not even close.
You think it's Biden?
Do you know why?
Tell me why.
Because if you do it in business, you eventually get caught and go to jail. That's why. That's why. Yeah, but in politics, did you not hear me 3 minutes ago?
Mm-hmm.
In business, you eventually get caught. You can't fight it. You eventually get caught in
Well,
business.
You can skirt the laws for sure.
skirt the law. No, skirt the laws is
Yeah.
fine. I don't disagree with skirt. You can play in the gray.
Yeah.
But-
well, he said that he did.
But politicians can play in the black, white, gray, blue, green, purple, whatever the hell they want to do because they create the laws.
That's why we need a clean house. Anyone over 70 needs to be out of politics.
This isn't about 70. It
Including
doesn't take
Biden,
7 years to
including
learn
Trump.
bad habits. It doesn't take 7 years to learn bad habits.
Clean house.
You just need to go to the right environment. You go to jail. What happens when people go to jail? What do people call jail? Training ground to produce more criminals and other ways. Okay, you go to politics, you're like, I'm going to be a statesman. I love America. I'm going to do such great things.
Oh, God.
Hey, do you know if we give you $200,000,
Yeah, there you go right there.
I'm going to get $200,000 cash. Yeah, of course, just take. Everybody does it. Okay, and then the Johnny Cash movie, just take it. Everybody does it. Walk the line. Yeah, that's the training ground for producing people that know how to abuse their power.
Have you ever interviewed a lobbyist? Have you ever had like somebody who was an actual
I have
lobbyist?
a very close friend of mine that's I can't say his name, that's a very powerful lobbyist for a long time that he left the business, and he tells me stuff. I will never review. He tells me stuff, and he says, Pat, as dirty as you think as it is, he says it's a million times dirtier.
Million times.
He says you don't even know how dirty it is and how to negotiate with each other. He says you don't even know how they negotiate with us, like what things we get. You don't even know. If the lobbyists left the game and they could not exist, it'd be a very different world today. The people that would win office would be very different people if you didn't have lobbyists And if you couldn't take campaign, there's a lot of different things you can change. It's a dirty world.
We have to explain one day what the actual way our government works now with lobbyists. And if anybody out there wants to know like what a lobbyist is, and to explain kind of my time in government, watch Thank You for Smoking. I'll give a plug for
phenomenal
a movie.
Watch
Thank You for Smoking.
Phenomenal movie.
Yeah, it's it's amazing how accurate that was. Yeah, and they hang out in the State House. I can only imagine what it's like at a federal level, but they hang out in the State House. From the chamber to your office is fair game. So these guys, you try to run from the chamber. So the session will break, and all the elected officials, they'll leave the chamber. And then the lobbyists, like cockroaches, they swarm, and they try to get their mark before they get to their office. So that walk down the hall is like insane, and that's where all the actual
and it's all legal.
It's all legal.
All right. Having said that, it's 7:37.
Sounds like we should get cameras and like microphones in those halls.
Yeah, right?
Just... If it's fair game, it's fair game.
If you've been a lobbyist, sit down with Pat on a PBD interview, like we just did, like you just did with the guy from Facebook. We need to get like an insider series going here.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.